Welcome to another episode of the A-Team at New Beginnings Farmstead. I'm Elisa, and our whole group is here. We have Ryan, Julie, Jeff, and Egidio. And today we're going to talk about doing some things that they were going to be hard, and they really weren't hard. So I recently had to get my car inspected, and I had a recall, so they had to take care of that. And I got a phone call, and being advised that my brake pads were, while they did pass inspection, they said, oh, you got about another month with the brake pads because they're really thin, and soon it's not going to, if it was a month from now, you probably would not have it passed inspection. But if you want us to change them now, the 2 front brake pads will be $600. So I was like, oh, God, $600. So I called Egidio, and he's like, absolutely not. Nope, I can do it.
Didn't say it like
yes,
that.
You did. Yes, you did. Absolutely not. I can do it. I'll go get the brake pads now. And you did. You went and got brake pads.
It cost like
$58 for 2 brake pads. Yeah. And by the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch a couple videos. I want to see if this is something I could do. And I watched some videos, and I said to Egidio, how hard can it be? Right? I want to do this myself. So were you surprised that I wanted to do it myself?
What?
Good answer.
I'm not surprised.
Seriously, were you surprised?
Of course I was surprised.
I had never even changed a tire, and I was like, nope, I'm going to learn how to do it. I want to learn.
Let's start with a mechanical system.
So I'm heading out to change the brake pads in my car. I've never done any kind of mechanical work ever, not even change a tire. But I took my car to be inspected, and they said the brake pads are right there, inspected, but I really need to change them. They wanted to charge $600 to change the 2 front brake pads. So Egidio bought the parts, $58 total, and I'm gonna go out and do that. I have given birth 4 times. I've raised those 4 children. I have a great teacher, so how hard can it be?
A vehicle that relies on the hydraulic power to stop this 4,000-pound vehicle, right? That's
right.
Yeah.
And wheel sensors and special tools, and it's a German vehicle.
So. It really wasn't that many tools, though. I mean, you have every tool imaginable.
Well, I have every tool, but
I don't know what the little blip that was.
I don't know either.
But yeah, it really was nowhere near as difficult as I thought it was. The first one took an hour, and the second one only took 30 minutes.
True.
Yeah, it was actually fun. I was very proud of myself. So now I want to learn some other stuff. I was like, how hard can it be?
Let's open a brake changing business.
Right?
No.
You're going to have to send your
MBF
comments back
brakes.
to the dealer.
All we needed was a lift.
Yeah. But I did have you check everything as I was doing it, because I am aware that, like
kind
you said,
important.
yeah, the brakes they're an important part of the car.
There was a lot of, let me do it. Let me do it.
Well,
Stop. Help me with this.
Well, some things are just really on there tight. So
Yeah.
I did have you loosen a few things. But
And your car's it's a Volkswagen, and it's an Atlas, and it has 118,000 miles on it. So, yeah, I mean, the brake pads have been changed on it before, and luckily the rotors were in good shape. And, part of it was she had to learn all this nomenclature. And, I'm a very patient teacher. Everyone knows that. Extremely patient, understanding.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah, I was like really struggling to get to the inside of the wheel, and then suddenly he's like, "Oh, hold on a minute," and then he turned the wheel. And now I can say it.
I actually let
me struggle for like 15 minutes.
I did.
Like I can't see.
She goes, I can't get behind
I can't
there,
see
and
what's
I'm
happening.
like, boy, you know what would really make this easier? A lift.
Yeah, and
then
so
I'm like,
we have a lift,
but until then,
and it's not put up,
That's
and it's
correct.
actually been sitting
still
in a
the crate.
box.
Still in the crate.
Yeah, for several years now. So
Raise
not
your
my
hand
fault.
if you also have a lift that hasn't been put up yet.
So a few years ago, I did contact Ryan because I wanted to get Egidio a lift, and Ryan found 2 lifts, right?
Yeah, I can't let him have a lift and me not have a lift. So
So they both have a lift in a box.
Yeah, we both have lifts that are not in operation right now.
And they've been like that for several years. But Ryan
This is the
did
year.
take on.
This is the
This
year.
is it. They're going up.
Yeah, Ryan took on the research part of that gift for me. And I was like, you figure out what he wants. Whatever you tell me to get is what I'm going to get.
So this is the year was set in 19,
Yep.
20,
Yep.
21.
Correct. But COVID hit.
So we didn't do 22.
There was some supply issues.
So 22 was out.
Yep. 22 we couldn't
This
do
is the year is 23.
it was going to be last year. It was.
Yeah, it was.
But
yeah.
this year,
This
This
year.
is the year.
this is the year.
2024.
By the way, next weekend, while you're there,
Yeah,
Hey, you know us. We'll do it.
while you're there, yeah, I mean,
make sure you have all the tools.
tools.
Yep. We're going to need jackhammers. Got to dig up all that concrete.
Oh no, no.
Ryan has this gorgeous garage that could be a commercial.
It is. It's actually
it's
a
spotless.
showroom,
It is
not even a shop.
spectacular. Even the floor, like it glistens.
Mhm.
I like to
beautiful.
have nice things.
He makes us wear booties when we walk in.
That's
okay?
not true.
Booties
Just take your shoes off.
In the garage.
in the shop. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So yeah, at one point you're struggling with the wrench, and I admittedly recognized I'm like, all right, I have a fan in the shop that I left off on purpose, so it's dripping off of
And
her.
it was like 90 degrees
it's
out.
dripping off of her, and she's like, "This is awful. I don't know how anybody could be doing this." So I was like, "Okay, just back up. Just be careful." I turned it on, rotated the steering wheel, and
now I can
exposed
see
everything.
the entire back of the wheel. How about
She's
that?
like, "Well, this is easier."
Yeah.
And I went, "Yeah." And then I turned on the fan. She's like, "Oh my god."
It was so hot that the camera that was recording us was flashing that it overheated.
Mm.
That's how hot it was in
Huh.
that garage.
But that fan cooled it down.
Tell me how hot it was that day.
But wait, no impact wrenches or
She didn't want to use it. I mean, I would have offered it had she said, "Hey, do you have an impact?" But she didn't do that. Had she said, "I thought we had an impact wrench available," I said, "No, we're gonna. If that's no, I was just was her."
Uh-huh. So we do have some video, and we're going to speed up most of it, but you can see that I actually did it myself. So,
Zip, zip,
Yep.
zip, zip, zip. Yep, there's a lot. None of that.
So-
There was none of that. So.
it really wasn't as hard as you would think. So now I want to do some other things. Julie, what about you? Anything you want to do? Julie's always up for anything.
Well, what's
I am up for
what's
anything.
what's things you haven't done? Like she hasn't changed brakes, and admittedly, you said you never.
I never
changed
even
the oil.
changed a tire
Right.
before that. So I was pretty impressed with what I
Oh, you were-
did.
look
I was
at
very
you
proud of
still.
myself.
Look at you still.
And as Steve said, I've told everybody, that,
Yeah.
guess what I did?
Yeah.
And so many
Yeah.
people are like, why? Why would you do that?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, well,
Uh, But what are things that you've done that you said, I'm going to do this, or how hard can that be? If Ryan can do it, I can do it, or something like that. And then all of a sudden,
Or what did Ryan say? If Julie can do it, I can do it.
ooh,
What?
Yeah.
Isn't the
yeah.
is the point here that only
Yeah.
I can
No.
do it?
No, of course
Absolutely
not.
not.
Right. No.
that's true.
so
You have to answer the
explain.
question first.
What are things that I want to do that I haven't done?
No, like I mean, I'm not trying to, but
Well,
at one point you never cut a tree down, right?
Me either. So we took a class together
Yes.
and a game of logging, which was very interesting. I know that's a four-part class, right? You've taken all 4 levels, and we do let Cornell Cooperative run classes here on the farm, and we took the class.
We did.
And I had never cut down, I've cut down little trees leading into that, but never an actual full-size tree until that class.
I had never operated a chainsaw. And now
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. You're actually really good with that chainsaw. Now you cut stuff down all the time.
Well, I don't know about all the time, but I have.
I had my little electric little
Well, and
chainsaw.
the class is designed to kind of teach you chainsaw basics and safety and all that, nomenclature and the forces involved in how a chainsaw operates and the dangers in operating a chainsaw. But at one point during the first class, and it's a 1-day class, you actually cut down a tree,
Oh yeah,
like a large
full-
tree,
yeah.
right? Yeah. 8
Well,
to
not
10
only
inches.
cut it down, but you have to tell him in advance where it's going to fall. And a lot of times, if the tree is leaning this way, he'll make you drop it the other
Right,
way.
so you have to
'cause
use
you
wedges.
have to learn how to
and-
do
right,
it.
Right, right.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense class.
You have to cut the face cut
Mhm.
first, right? Then you got to get the back cut.
Yeah, and he measures the angle when you're cutting your wedge.
Right. We'll put a
and-
link into some of the
Yeah.
information on
Yep,
it.
it was fun, and
And
it was a
did-
contest.
Now, did both of you use a cordless chainsaw?
I did. You didn't.
did.
Did you use an electric chainsaw that
Cordless.
time?
We all use cordless.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
Cordless,
meant
but I meant- yeah.
not gas operated.
Oh, I use electric.
Yeah, you got electric. Okay.
Yeah,
I guess it was very heavy for
It
me.
is. It's very
And
heavy.
it's hard to start, right? That's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
I saw that even on the level 4 classes, once you get to like storm cleanup, almost half the class were all cordless electric, battery operated saws, and some of them were commercial series. They had
Right.
either Husky. I think Husky. There was 2 people that had Husky saws there. Most of them had those Easy Goes or Go Greens or something. They were
Yep.
high torque saws. I mean, they worked. They didn't have to use another battery or anything, but starting a regular gas chainsaw, especially a larger commercial style saw, takes a lot of doing. With these, there's no noise. You pull the trigger and you're starting.
I
That's
always
it,
struggle
so.
with any type of
Gas
equipment where
operated.
you have to pull the cord. I
Right.
I have a shoulder injury to begin with, and I can't start it.
Yeah, well, you got especially some of the older saws. The new ones are coming out with fuel injection or whatever, but you have like chokes on them. You got to operate, and you got to so there's things like. But the cordless battery ones, we have the DeWalt's. They work out great. 16-inch bar and a 12-inch bar, and they're good for cleanup and light stuff. They're small. Yeah, they work out pretty well. But yeah, even on the higher level classes, these guys were running EV saws, but battery powered saws. They work out pretty well.
Well, I would like to learn how to change the oil on my car next because that's pretty expensive.
You know
I
what would
wanna do
make it
myself.
easier?
A lift.
An
So
electric vehicle.
Yes.
There you go.
That's true.
You know what won't make it cheaper? When you got to change the go fuel in an electric vehicle.
Nobody said cheaper. I said
No,
easier.
Is it easier? That's right.
Yeah. well,
I would like to learn how to put up a lift in a garage.
okay. Well, you get 2
We
chances.
get 2 chances. Julie, you want to help?
Sure. I'll help with the lift if y'all help with my deck.
Oh, Challenge accepted.
Nice. So you're putting a new deck? You want to put a new deck in?
That's the plan.
Oh,
excellent.
nice.
Yep.
Count
And
us in.
is there taking a deck down that
Yes,
is
we have an
pre-existing?
existing deck. It's wood. It's deteriorating. It's a bi-level back deck. It's only just right off the ground, but it's 2 levels. And we spend a lot of time on it, but it gets a full sun exposure.
Ah,
And so we are going to rip it out and replace it
All
excellent.
right.
this fall.
like
Oh,
Trex, that kind
That's
of thing.
what we're thinking
Okay.
about.
Yep.
Mindful of the heat.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only complaint, right? That most people have. You have Trex, all right, and
Gets warm.
it's the best. I mean, it's expensive as an alternative. It's an expensive alternative, but you're done. That's it. Then you're finished. But I'm told that it does get hot, right? So you can't go out there
It
in the
gets hot.
blazing.
And it's not maintenance free. That's a misconception about Trex. Trex is not maintenance free because it will stain. If you have trees, bushes,
Oh.
fruiting things, flowering things, it stains very, very easily. So you do have to wash it periodically
okay.
and not allow buildup on it because
Yeah.
it won't come clean like it
Yeah.
was. When
I
it was
mean,
new.
we ran a cedar deck up in Olive. We changed that over to pressure treated, and the deck we have in the back is pressure treated. And you got to pressure wash it and clean it and stain it or seal it every so often. And
Right.
but yeah, no, excellent.
Yeah.
We love projects.
yes, we do. Tell us when.
How about the weekend that the wedding canceled?
Ah,
There you go.
there we go.
That's it.
All right.
We're in.
Sounds like a plan.
Perfect.
You know something I want to do? I want to learn how to use a rototiller.
Oh, do we
Boy.
have a rototiller?
I don't know. Do
That's
we
a
have
blast
one?
from the past.
Wait,
Wait a
you
minute.
don't own a rototiller?
We.
I think we do.
Wait
Don't
a
we
minute.
have a small
think,
one?
I think we do. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there is.
There
Yeah.
should be one in the back. If
Yeah.
not, I think there's one up in Olive.
All right.
You're talking about a big tractor mounted 6-foot rototiller?
No.
Or,
I
Oh.
manually
Oh, then we don't
push.
have-
never
we
mind.
don't have one of them.
Never
But no,
mind.
don't we have one from Poppy?
We do. The
Yeah.
small one. Yeah.
Yeah,
The really
yeah, yeah.
tiny one. Yeah. It's little. It's actually designed to fit between the garden rows.
Oh, is it like
Is
a
that
mantis?
what you
Yeah,
mean
Mantis
for
tiller?
to,
Yeah,
to
it's-
do your
it's-
garden?
To do a garden.
It's a gas powered. But yeah, so because my
Gas-powered.
father
Do
for
you
a long
have
time.
one, or you need to use one? You
I
need
don't
to.
have one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we have one.
I mean, the one your father had that your mother used is the kind where you actually take the cord and wrap it around the
Right.
flywheel. Like it's that old, but it's there.
And
you
it
know,
probably
so.
still works.
My father
So-
bought one. It was a Troy belt,
Mhm.
and it was the reverse tine, and he did the entire garden with that whole thing. And he bought it in Hunter Mountain, and you could rotate the handle on it. And he was rototilling the entire lawn at one point because he just like running the damn thing. So, but yeah, excellent.
Yeah, that
perfect.
sounds like a great idea.
What about you, Will?
About
What do you
What
want
do
to
you
learn
want
to
to
do?
learn?
To set
like
Mai
to-
Tais on the beach.
nice. That's a hard skill. I'm told that there's a certain balance between the Zen.
That's what I wanna do.
Well, right now I can tell you that Egidio is learning a lot about kayaks.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention pan flutes.
No, you know a lot about pan
Since I got one
flutes.
for my birthday,
You did.
I got a pan flute.
Well, he is learning about kayaks. He's been watching every time I walk into the living room. That's what he's got on videos about not only the different kinds and how to get the safety and how to get back onto a kayak if
And
you fall out of
Be-
it.
beginner mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is something he's currently working on. What about you, Ryan?
I don't know. I do so much.
Okay. Well, name one.
What are you learning now? Everybody should always be learning something, right?
Well, I'm still learning how to lay pavers because as easy as it is, there is kind of a knack to it. And you have to pay attention to what you're doing. And I had laid pavers before, but not in the mass that I'm doing right now. And I went from basically all squares to now doing a circle, which watched some videos and did some reading on how to get your cuts better and different techniques to make your lines cleaner and your joints tighter.
Isn't
more
that
accurate.
dangerous though? I mean, you could get like hand injuries when you're cutting bricks like that. Right?
You can. Yeah, I've
gotta be
actually
really
healed
c-
up pretty good
You got to be
from
pretty
that
careful
saw.
with that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And as far as like you mentioned the Mai Tai stuff, but I think one of the things that you've talked about is doing siding, right? Like
Oh,
rocks,
yeah.
stone
No,
siding.
No, not me.
Oh, you just picked out the material.
I have 0 projects. I institute 0 projects.
That's right. You want to do some
My other half, on the other
siding
hand,
projects.
has a lot of projects lined up.
Mhm. But it sounds
Siding-
easy.
Sure, it does.
Sounds easy.
Yeah,
We got this.
1, 2
Yeah.
days, 3, 4.
So, but Ryan, you are in the middle of an amazing project. I have to say, I have seen his work
Yep.
because I was up at the house a couple of times now, and the rest of you have not been there yet.
I was there.
You went? Oh, did
Yeah.
you go up and see it?
I walked around.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, that's right. You came up. You
Yeah.
came up that day.
Yeah,
I was
yeah, yeah,
watching your
yeah.
daughter, and
Mhm.
you brought our grandson up. Yeah, amazing. You're
Yep.
doing an absolutely amazing job.
Thank you.
I am blown away by how beautiful
Yep.
it is. Absolutely gorgeous. I can't
Yeah,
wait to
it's
see.
unbelievable. I actually did not want to walk on it. I said to
Yeah,
that,
me
I
too.
said, you know what?
Yeah, I was a little nervous
he's
when I
gonna
got
know.
there. Like,
He's
should
gonna
I
know.
walk up these
Yep.
steps? And gorgeous. And I'm just dying to see your fire pit when that's done.
And this was all I didn't really know a whole lot about it. I researched it for years. I planned it out. I had it all drawn up, drafted, ready to go to scale to be able to hand to somebody. And one, it's very hard to find somebody to come do that work. And two, the more I looked at it and the more I thought about it, and the more I researched what blocks I wanted and read all the books and all the tutorials from the companies, the manufacturers, and that, it's not that difficult. But you're only seeing half of what was installed,
Right.
because the other half is below ground.
Right.
And the amount of I mean, you saw it before I even started. So the back half of my house for the first 11 years wasn't finished. We didn't do any landscaping and any beautification after we built the house.
Yeah, but your back deck itself is pretty amazing. So you have your back porch is not just like posts. You have actual cedar trees.
Yeah, they're trees. We cut those trees down when we were clearing the property, and I cut them off at the stump at the ground, so
Right.
that
So
I had the flare of the trunk of the tree.
That's what's so gorgeous. The tree, it looks like a tree, and it
Yep.
comes down, and you can see the entire trunk of the tree. It's beautiful what you did.
And that was another project that wasn't that easy, because you essentially have to build it twice. So in doing everything that I've done, there's a learning curve with all of it, because jack of all trades, master of none. And for the footings and the concrete work for the walls and building the deck, I built dozens of decks, but never have I built one using round trees, logs. And log construction is a lot different than standard framing, because nothing is square, nothing is true, and you have to figure out to find your centers and get your cuts correct. And these things are 600 pounds a piece, so we had to set them with a backhoe. But I had to build the deck first, so I built the deck and supported everything, then notched all these out, set them in on pins, because they have to be pinned to the pillars, because the pillars are concrete with a bluestone top on them. To set the tree on top of the bluestone, you have to finagle them in there with a backhoe and set them in, and then set the deck back down inside of the notches that you make. So,
maybe you can take some pictures and send them to me. Of your deck and your pavers, and we can put it in here so people can see
I can do that.
just how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
So part of it is you've never done that type of work before, right?
Well, I've always done that type of work, but I've never actually done that. I mean, my whole house was a learning experience by using the log because nothing is square,
Right.
nothing is true. It's all and there's definitely some forgiveness with logs because you're not making your notches with a circular saw or a sawzall or anything like that. You're making them with a chainsaw. Your cuts are with a chainsaw. There is no precision with a chainsaw until you figure out what you're doing.
Kind
And
of
there's
like chainsaws in kitchens.
Yeah,
Is
like that.
precision?
Oh,
Kind of
yeah.
like that.
yeah, like that. Yep.
Precision.
Yep.
Okay.
The chainsaws have a place in
In
a house.
kitchens.
in
Oh,
a
yeah,
household.
yeah. Okay.
But
Anyway, I'm sorry.
it's been quite the experience with all of that. But again, once you do it once, like, oh wow, okay, that wasn't so bad.
How hard can it be?
How hard can
How
it be?
hard can it be?
I grew up like that. My father's like, listen, what's the problem? They're just parts. A car is just parts. You just got to figure out. If somebody else put it together, you got to figure it out. That's all.
Right.
Nothing different.
Well, for me, doing the brake pads has like sparked an interest in wanting to try some other things that
Unless
I've always.
it's way too cold
Right.
outside or it's raining, then it's
Yeah.
like,
The rain is not as bad as cold. I hate the cold. I'll take the heat over the extreme heat over extreme cold any
But
day.
now we have heat in the shop. So,
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
yeah, that's one thing you missed out on in maple season.
Was heat?
We had
now
heat.
have
I had
heat.
We have heat. Yeah.
You did have your own
It
heat,
was
didn't you?
uncomfortably hot in there at one point. Uncomfortably.
Yes, very much so.
It was
See, I don't
perfect.
get
We
get
were
cold during
sweating.
maple season.
Sweating.
It was toasty. It was nice.
All right. So we got a couple of projects.
Yes.
Stonework,
Stonework,
Deck,
deck.
lifts.
Pavers.
We're going to
Two
do the
lifts.
lifts.
2 lifts.
Well, the pavers are on him,
Right.
but the lifts we got to
Pool.
put up. Oh, you're putting in a pool this year?
No,
Oh.
next year.
Okay,
next
next this year's project.
Yeah,
this
this
year's.
There's a page that I follow online. I'll have to send it to you about these lagoons that they build. So go big or go home, right?
Lagoon.
Go big or go home.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Waterfalls. Oh, yeah.
Wow, you're gonna have a little water park.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of
Well.
like combination Opus 40 water park going on there
That's
in the
right.
backyard.
Yeah.
You could build a moat with a drawbridge.
Oh,
Lazy river.
We could do kayaking around your house.
With
You
a
could.
drop off. That would be cool.
That'd be nice. Little whitewater rafting in there. I like it. Right to the Hudson.
Yeah, you could do that. You
Yeah.
could do that.
That's it.
Water slide right into the river.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for this episode of the A Team, and we hope you like and subscribe. And that's all for today.
See you soon.